Nora Thompson leaned against the counter in her small supply shop on Outpost Zenith 7, watching 3 Neko cubs lingering by the door. They were cute, with soft white fur and big blue eyes. But they had been standing there for nearly 20 minutes, whispering in their high-pitched language. They clearly wanted something but couldn't figure out how to ask. The Neko were a warrior species, their entire culture built on honor and strength. The strongest took first, the fastest got the best shelter, and trading? Trading was seen as weakness, manipulation, a way of stealing rather than earning. But these cubs kept coming back. "Well, you gonna stand there or come inside?" Nora called out. The cubs shuffled nervously. The oldest, Rex, about 8 years old by their standards, held out a small smooth stone. "We want the sweet bread from yesterday." Nora looked at the stone. It was pretty, maybe worth something to someone else, but to her, it was worth little. Still, she saw the hopeful look in Rex's eyes. "Deal," she said, handing him the sweet bread. The cub's eyes went wide. They hadn't expected it to work. They grabbed the bread, split it 3 ways, and bolted out the door with wide grins. The next day, the cubs returned. This time, Rex offered a handful of smooth black stones. Shyle brought some seed pods, and little Vix presented a small, hand-carved figurine. To Nora, it wasn't worth much, but the cubs wanted something. She accepted their offerings every time. She could have easily charged more, but this felt different. By the 4th visit, Rex finally asked, "Why do you accept our offerings? You're not Neko. You don't follow our strength laws." Nora gave him a calm smile. "Because I follow different laws, supply and demand, fair exchange. You want something, I want something. We both walk away happy." "But you're stronger," Shyle said, confused. "You could just take our stones and give us nothing." "I could," Nora replied. "But then you wouldn't come back. And I'd lose customers. Better to have you return 50 times than rob you once." The cubs stared at her like she had just cracked a complex riddle. Over the next few weeks, something unexpected happened. The cubs started trading with each other. Rex became good at finding valuable objects, Shyle excelled at fixing things, and little Vix had discovered a knack for weaving beautiful patterns from station fibers. They began trading services. "I'll fix your datapad if you find me 3 blue stones," Rex would say. "I'll make you a bracelet if you teach me your counting system," Vix would offer. They were creating something new. Then, one day, their war leader, Cree, stormed into the shop. His 8-foot frame radiated fury as he stood towering over Nora. Behind him stood the 3 cubs, heads low, clearly ashamed. "You teach our young the ways of manipulation," Cree growled. "Trade is Dishonor. Resources are claimed by strength, distributed by merit of combat. You corrupt them with your human weakness." Nora stood up calmly. "I didn't teach them anything. They came to me wanting to exchange items. I accepted. That's all." "Then you should have refused," Cree snarled. "Taught them proper strength. You let them barter like merchants instead of hunt like warriors. They now trade favors. They negotiate. This is a shame upon their bloodlines." "Is it?" Nora crossed her arms. "Or is it just different from what you know?" Cree's mandibles clicked. "It is weakness." "Then prove it," Nora challenged. "You said trade is weakness. Strength is supreme. Fine. For the next month, I'll teach these 3 everything I know about economics, negotiation, and resource management. You keep the rest of your cubs in the traditional system. At the end of 30 days, we'll see which group is better off. If I'm corrupting them with weakness, it'll show." Cree's eyes narrowed. "And when you fail, I leave the station." "Agreed. 30 days. Nora set up a small workshop in an unused storage bay, transforming it into a makeshift classroom. Rex, Shyle, and Vix arrived every morning, eager yet nervous. She taught them everything her grandmother had taught her: value assessment, negotiation, supply and demand, diversification. The cubs were quick studies. Their sharp, hunter instincts made them exceptional at reading people. Rex noticed that many on the station needed repairs, so he started fixing electronics. Shyle began weaving decorations from station fibers and took on custom commissions. Vix became a broker, connecting people who had things to trade with those who needed them. Within weeks, the cubs had created a small but efficient economy among the station's children. Humans, Neko, Centaurians, and even drill adolescents were getting in on the action. Then disaster struck. A solar storm delayed the supply ship by 6 weeks. The station now had only 3 weeks of rations left. Emergency rationing began, but it wasn't enough. Fights broke out. The strongest warriors seized the best food stores, and the weak went hungry. The Neko system was based on strength, but it was also cruel and wasteful. Nora watched as Kree tried, and failed, to maintain order. It wasn't working. Then Rex came to her with a quiet proposal. "Nora Thompson," Rex said, his voice full of hope. "We want to try something." "What?" Nora asked. "A market. A real one. For the whole station." Nora hesitated. "Your adults will never agree." "They will if it works," Vix said softly. The first market was small, just 20 participants, mostly non-Neko species. A human engineer traded repairs for food credits. A Centurion farmer swapped vegetables for medical supplies. Shyle helped broker a deal where 3 families pooled resources to make communal meals. It was shockingly efficient. By the second week, 50 people had joined the market. Rex set up a credit system using coded tokens. People could now earn value by providing services, even if they didn't have physical goods to trade. Vix created a bulletin board where people could post what they needed and what they had to offer. Shyle ran a service to mediate disputes when trades went wrong. The market was redistributing resources based on need and efficiency, not fighting. Less food was wasted, and more people were fed. The station was surviving. Kree watched from the observation deck. His expression was unreadable. On day 30, the war leader descended to the market floor. The crowd went silent. Rex, Shyle, and Vix stood together, nervous but proud. "You created this?" Kree asked, his voice low. "Yes, war leader," Rex said. "Without dominance combat. Without strength hierarchy. We used different strengths." "Strength of knowing what people want," Shyle said carefully. "Strength of creating fair exchange. Strength of building systems that work." Kree looked at Nora. "This is human strength." Nora smiled. "This is economic strength. Humans didn't invent it because we're special. We invented it because we're weak. We couldn't take resources by force, so we got really good at exchanging them instead." Kree stood still for a long moment. Then, he did something unexpected. He reached into his pack and pulled out a ceremonial blade, a weapon of immense value to the Neko. "Nora Thompson," he said formally, "what will you trade for this?" The market held its breath. Nora smiled. "3 things. First, you acknowledge trade as a valid form of strength. Second, you let these 3 cubs teach others their skills. Third, you give me a vendor stall at your next warrior gathering so I can sell to your people properly." Kree's mandibles clicked in what might have been amusement. The human negotiates hard. "I accept." He placed the blade on her counter. Nora wrapped it carefully and handed him a small bag of premium coffee beans, impossibly rare on the station. "For strength of a different kind," she said. "Enjoy." 3 months later, Nora's shop had expanded into 3 stalls. The Neko had integrated barter into their culture, not replacing combat honor but supplementing it. Warriors still earned status through strength, but now they also earned wealth through trade. The cubs ran the station's most successful merchant network. Rex approached Nora one evening, deep in thought. "Nora Thompson," he said, "we have a question." "Shoot," Nora replied. "Humans weren't the strongest on your world, not the fastest, not the most dangerous. Yet you became Apex. We always wondered how. And now we understand. You became Apex not through taking, but through exchanging. Not through hoarding, but through trading. Not through strength alone, but through creating systems where everyone's strength multiplies together." He paused. "Markets are not weakness. Markets are weapons. You taught the galaxy to fight with commerce instead of claws." Nora laughed. "Kid, you just described 5,000 years of human history in 3 sentences. Yeah, we weaponized economics. Turns out making people rich is more powerful than making them dead. Dead customers don't come back. Happy traders do." Looking out at the bustling market, Nora realized, you don't conquer the galaxy with the biggest guns. You conquer it with the best deals. If you want more HFY stories like the video, subscribe to Survival Arena HFY, and comment below, so I know you want part 2.